In the forgotten alleys of ancient Rome, where the sun dips into the Tiber and casts long shadows, lies a hidden corner of history shrouded in obscurity. It is here, amidst the grandeur of triumphal arches and monumental statues, that we find an oft-overlooked testament to the enduring power of legacy, the anonymous cathedral builders. Like silent sentinels, they toiled behind the scenes, their names unknown to the annals of time, as they constructed the very foundations of Rome's spiritual heart. The Pantheon, with its oculus shining like a celestial eye, is often cited as their masterpiece, but it was not alone in their creations. Throughout the city, their invisible hands shaped the fabric of faith, leaving an indelible mark on the collective psyche of the Roman people. The Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature resonates deeply within this unassuming legacy story. Consider the architects who designed these grand structures, men whose focus was not on personal aggrandizement or artistic expression but rather on creating a sense of unity and balance. They wove together disparate elements, marble, concrete, and engineering innovations, into an harmonious whole that transcended individual ego. In this spirit of cooperation and shared purpose, the anonymous cathedral builders embodied the Stoic virtue of eunomia, often translated as good order or good law. It is a concept closely tied to the idea of logos, or reason. By adhering to an unseen principle, they created an atmosphere that was at once awe-inspiring and humbling, inviting all who entered its precincts to contemplate the mysteries of existence. As we stand before these ancient relics, we are reminded that true greatness often lies not in recognition but in the quiet dedication to a higher purpose. The Pantheon's very name itself, derived from the ancient Greek gods, underscores the transience of human achievement and the timelessness of spiritual aspiration. It is here, beneath the vaulted ceilings of Rome's most sacred spaces, that we catch a glimpse of the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature, stripped of pretension or self-importance. The architects who built these temples did not seek to immortalize themselves. Instead, they sought to build structures that would stand as testaments to their shared humanity. Their legacy is an invitation to explore the space between individual ambition and collective purpose. As we ponder the enigmatic beauty of their creations, let us not forget that true virtue lies not in recognition but in the quiet, enduring power of our actions, a truth distilled from the simplest yet profoundest acts of devotion, building, creating, leaving something behind for the ages when we have passed on. The Romans who built their cities were not merely architects of stone and steel, but also artisans of time itself. For in constructing monuments that would outlast them, they inscribed a new kind of legacy, one that transcended individual fame or fortune, and spoke to the human condition in all its complexity. Consider the humblest of these sculptors, the man whose name is lost to history, yet whose craft remains a testament to the enduring power of human devotion. He was but one of countless artisans who labored beneath the eagle-eyed gaze of the Roman emperor, tasked with crafting the statues that would line the sacred precincts of temples, gardens, and public squares. In an age where the Stoics prized inner strength above external success, this anonymous craftsman stood as a paragon of unassuming virtue. His day was spent amidst the relentless din of marble, chisel, and sawdust, shaping raw material into the likeness of revered gods and mythic heroes. As he worked, his mind wandered to the transience of mortal life, and the importance of leaving behind a testament to one's own presence in an indifferent world. The Stoics taught that it is not external validation that gives our lives meaning, but rather the quiet ascent of our own character. And here, in this anonymous craftsman, we see embodied the very essence of legacy, a concept born from the simple act of creation, forged in the crucible of human labor and devotion. His existence was one of unsung heroism, a testament to the boundless potential for excellence that lies within each of us. In the context of our own lives, can we not learn from the example of this faceless sculptor? Can we not strive to build something more lasting than mere celebrity or material success? Do we not share his reverence for the timeless and the transcendent? As the story is told, it was the Stoic philosopher Epictetus who would later describe the artisan's work as a kind of self-formation, whereby the individual shapes their own character from within, a process that remains both profound and humbling in its implications. The trials of the artisans who built this great statue are often shrouded in mystery and myth, for it was they who toiled behind the scenes, their hands shaping the very marble that would bear the visage of an immortal god. The process was a slow one, as if the artist himself were taking shape from within the stone itself. Epictetus described this self-formation, whereby the individual shapes their own character from without, yet it is likely that these anonymous cathedral builders knew something more profound about the power of their craft. As they worked tirelessly to bring the statue to life, they must have confronted their own mortality, and the impermanence of all earthly creations. The story goes that a young sculptor, once tasked with shaping the iconic head of the god, became obsessed with the task at hand. He toiled day and night, poring over his designs, convinced that this moment was his chance to leave an indelible mark upon the world. And yet, as he worked, his anxiety grew, fueling a creative paralysis that would have brought any artist to their knees. But not our anonymous sculptor. Rather than surrender to his demons, he chose to confront them head-on. He set aside his designs and stepped away from the work, recognizing that true perfection lay not in the execution of art, but in its very imperfection, a reminder that it is in embracing our limitations, rather than transcending them, that we come closest to true greatness. This paradox is at the very heart of the Stoic philosophy. It is a wisdom born from confronting one's own vulnerability, rather than seeking to escape or deny it. The sculptor's choice was not one of pride and ego, but of humility and self-awareness, a testament to the enduring power of human resilience in the face of adversity. As we stand before this magnificent statue, we are reminded that true beauty lies not in its perfection, but in its imperfections, those tiny cracks and fissures that reveal the human touch, and the struggle that gave birth to it. The anonymous cathedral builders who crafted this masterpiece left an indelible mark upon history, one that continues to inspire us today with the quiet courage of a philosopher's conviction, that it is through embracing our very frailties that we may discover true strength within ourselves, and create works of beauty that will outlast us all. The anonymous cathedral builders of ancient Rome toiled for decades, shaping the very fabric of our civilization through their unwavering dedication and unrelenting passion. Their creations stand as testaments to a Stoic principle that has captivated minds for centuries, that true strength lies not in the monument we leave behind, but rather in the character we cultivate along the way. This ancient virtue, known as oret, or excellence of character, was deeply ingrained in the Stoic philosophy. It refers to the unwavering commitment to living a life of moral integrity, guided by reason and self-discipline. The Stoics sought not to build monuments that would outlast them, but to create within themselves a work of art that would endure long after their own mortal coil had been shed. As the story is told, these anonymous architects and artisans worked tirelessly on the construction of a magnificent temple in Rome, driven by an unyielding passion for their craft. Theirs was no endeavor motivated by hubris or the desire for fame, but rather by a profound reverence for the timeless and eternal. They knew that their creations would be surpassed by the passage of time, leaving behind only memories and whispers of a bygone era. Yet it is precisely this recognition of impermanence that allowed them to approach their work with an air of detachment, unencumbered by pride or attachment. For they understood that true excellence lies not in the external manifestation of beauty, but rather in the inner strength and character that underlies it. The statue may fall, the stone may crumble, and the temple may decay, but the principles of oret endure, a testament to the indomitable human spirit. As we gaze upon the ruins of this ancient structure today, let us recall the Stoic principle of detachment in the face of impermanence. Let us remember that true strength lies not in what we can achieve or build, but rather in how we choose to approach our own limitations and frailties. For it is through embracing our vulnerabilities, rather than trying to hide them behind a mask of external triumphs, that we may unlock the very essence of Art. In the silence of this ancient cathedral, one might almost hear the whispered promise of the Stoics, that true legacy lies not in the monuments we construct, but rather in the character we cultivate along the way. And so it is with these anonymous builders, their nameless faces lost to the sands of time, yet their spirit palpable in every stone and every brick, who remind us that greatness is never achieved through external trappings, but rather through the quiet courage of a life well lived. The turn, reveal. As we stand before the grandeur of these monuments, their creators long forgotten, we are met with a profound question: what is it that truly endures? The nameless artisans who built these statues, temples, and cities with such precision, did they not know that their greatest achievement would be forgotten by time itself? Or was there something more at play, a deeper truth to the act of building, one that transcended the individual? The Stoics would tell us that it is in the depths of such obscurity that we find the essence of true greatness. For it is not the external symbols we leave behind that define us, but rather the character we cultivate through our daily choices and actions. And yet, as we behold these creations of marble and stone, there exists a peculiar allure to their enduring presence. Consider the Parthenon, that iconic citadel of Athens, built by an army of anonymous stonemasons under the supervision of Phidias, its master sculptor. As the story is told, Phidias himself claimed no credit for his work, attributing instead the glory to the gods and the city's patronage. In this gesture, he embodies the Stoic ideal of detachment from external validation. His art was not a means to garner fame or fortune, but rather an expression of service to something greater than himself. We might say that his actions speak louder than words. For it is in the face of oblivion that their creations stand as testaments to the power of human endurance, a profound reminder that true greatness lies not in the achievements we leave behind, but in the quiet courage with which we approach each day. The Stoics would tell us that this is where the true legacy begins, in the unassuming way we pursue our passions and cultivate virtues. As the shadows fall across these monumental structures, let us remember that it is not their beauty or grandeur that endures, but rather the character of those who built them. It is a testament to the human condition, a reminder that greatness is often found in the face of adversity, and that true legacy lies not in external validation, but in the quiet courage of our convictions. The nameless artisans who built these statues may be lost to history, but their spirit remains with us still, a poignant reminder that the greatest achievement we can ever claim is the one we make of ourselves. In the pantheon of human endeavor, few monuments transcend the test of time with greater elegance than the statues that dot our cityscapes and public spaces. While often associated with grand statesmen or mythical heroes, these artworks frequently bear witness to a far more humble craftsmanship, that of anonymous cathedral builders, whose names have dissolved into the mists of history like grain of sand in the desert. As we gaze upon their creations today, we are forced to confront the peculiar irony that these masters of the material world often worked in obscurity. Their triumphs were not achieved through personal renown or public recognition. On the contrary, they labored behind the scenes, driven by a singular focus on their art. The echoes of their labor persist only in the structures they touched, testaments to their skill and dedication. In the Stoic tradition, we find an apt corollary to this phenomenon in the concept of akrasia, the struggle between our better judgment and the whims of our passions. These artisans exemplified a stoicism of their own, where they set aside personal interests for the sake of beauty and truth. They recognized that true greatness lies not in individual triumphs but in the enduring value a work may hold, long after its creator has faded from view. Consider, if you will, the humble bricklayer who toiled for decades, laying the foundation upon which a majestic cathedral would one day rise. As an individual, his existence would likely go unremarked, yet the beauty he contributed to that hallowed space transcends his own self-conception. In building something greater than himself, he achieves a certain type of legacy, one not derived from personal achievement but from the profound presence of the structure he helped create. We can draw an analogous lesson in our modern lives. In an age beset by the ephemeral nature of social media and the cult of self-promotion, we are often encouraged to cultivate an online persona that reflects our truest selves. The problem with this approach is that we lose sight of what truly matters, not the likes and comments but the impact of our endeavors on the world around us. As the anonymous cathedral builders remind us, a life devoted to the pursuit of excellence, be it in craftsmanship or some other pursuit, will leave behind an enduring legacy. This does not require fame or fortune, rather, it demands an unwavering commitment to one's principles and values. In doing so, we may find that our individual efforts become intertwined with those of others, contributing to a greater whole that outlives us all. In the Stoic tradition, this notion is captured in the phrase, memento mori, a reminder of mortality that serves as a catalyst for living in accordance with reason and virtue. While it may seem counterintuitive to consider one's own legacy when confronted by life's uncertainties, we can find solace in recognizing that true purpose lies not in our individual accomplishments but in the positive effects they have on others. In this sense, the anonymous cathedral builders offer us a powerful lesson, one of humility and dedication. As we reflect upon our own lives, let us endeavor to build something greater than ourselves, a testament to our character, crafted with precision and care. The statue stands as a monument to craftsmanship, yet it was not the artist who built it that drew the greatest acclaim, but the anonymous workers tasked with its creation. As the story is told, these skilled laborers were paid a pittance for their time and effort, while the famous sculptor's name would be immortalized in history. This disparity speaks to the Stoic concept of indifference to external validation. What we do not see is what truly matters. It is not the praise of others that drives us, but our own inner compass. We must build our character with precision and care, so that when the winds of fortune shift, we may stand firm. In today's world, where social media demands constant attention and validation, we find ourselves craving the nod of strangers to feel complete. But what if we were to reframe this desire? What if we were to instead focus on crafting our own inner light, so that it shines brightly regardless of external circumstance? To take one step tonight, pause for a moment and reflect upon your relationships with those who do not directly benefit from your work or accomplishments. Are there individuals in your life who contribute behind the scenes, perhaps an unseen collaborator at work, a supportive partner, or a generous benefactor? Make a conscious effort to acknowledge their role this week, even if it means setting aside time to have a simple conversation with them. This act of recognition may seem small, but it holds profound significance. By doing so, we build our character and hone our indifference to external validation. We demonstrate that our worth is not defined by the praise of others, but by our own integrity. As the Stoic sage Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The city sprawls, its steel and concrete spires piercing the sky, yet in the midst of this modern colossus, we find a testament to timeless tradition. A monument stands, crafted not by hands of fame or fortune, but by anonymous laborers who built it brick by brick, stone by stone, an unsung cathedral that rivals the grandeur of its patrons' creations. In its marble halls, where art and philosophy entwine, we find echoes of Stoic wisdom. The virtue of legacy, long debated among philosophers, has captivated hearts for centuries. What does it mean to leave a mark on the world that outlasts our own fleeting existence? We ask ourselves, what have we built, and how will it be remembered? The story is told that Marcus Aurelius, that just and fair-minded emperor, commissioned a grand architectural project to honor the gods in his capital city of Rome. His intention was not vanity or a desire for legacy, but an expression of devotion and reverence. As if, in giving life to marble structures, he sought to transcend mortality itself. We can learn from this ancient endeavor about the nature of building something real, not the glittering facades we construct in our lives, but the substance that endures beyond us. Stoics believe that true legacy is built through the cultivation of virtues, wisdom, self-control, and courage. As we meditate on the task at hand, the Stoic concept of archeia comes to mind, the notion that our actions should be guided by a deep understanding of the natural order. Are we building bridges, so to speak, between ourselves and posterity? Do we strive for recognition in a world where external validation is but an illusion? The true monument lies not in accolades or public adoration but in the quiet reflection that becomes us. We ask, how will my actions be remembered when I am gone? The answer may lie hidden beneath the surface, waiting to reveal itself to those who would do justice to the legacy we attempt to leave. And so, as we gaze upon this marble behemoth, let its beauty remind us of the ephemerality of mortal achievements. What is our life, asks the Stoic sage, but a fleeting shadow cast by that which lives forever.